Okay, so today we're going to learn how to create actions and outlets. The reason why we need actions and outlets is because the actions are what the objects will do when the user interacts with them, and the outlets allow us to set the properties of the object. So if you don't know what objects are, just watch our video called Creating Objects Programmatically versus the Storyboard. Okay, so let's look at the Chi Message app and let me show you a few examples of actions and outlets. So when I click on this cell, a new view controller pops up. So that's an action. And when I tap on this close button, the view controller disappears. So that's another example of an action. This is also an action. When I scroll to the right, the old view controller disappears and the new one appears. Now, example of an outlet is when I tap here, the message appears. When I tap, the message disappears. Okay, so this message has an outlet attached to it, and that's how I can set the property to either visible or invisible. Another example is here. Okay, see these icons? When I tap the icon, it turns orange. Okay, and that's because it's got an outlet attached to it, and I can set the property, the color property, to orange. Now the objects can have both an action and an outlet. Okay, so for example, these icons here, they are buttons, and they have both action and outlet, which allows the user to click on it or tap on it and then be able to change color. Okay, so let's start coding. Okay, so you're going to create a new project as usual. Go to your storyboard and go to your first view controller. First, we need to add a couple of buttons. So drag a button to your first view, drag another one. We need to put constraints on the buttons: width, height, top, horizontal constraint. Again, same thing for the second button: width, height, top, horizontal constraint. Okay, so now we want to show our first view controller. And then we're going to control drag our first button here to our first view controller, and we're going to make sure this says action. Okay, we're gonna call it just button 1. Button 1. And then this one, we're going to call it button 2. Again, make sure this is action. Button 2. Now we're going to create an outlet, okay, for this label object. So click on this label, control drag, and make sure this says outlet. And let's call this label 1. Okay, so that's how you create the outlet, and that's how you create the action. Now, obviously we need to do something with the action, otherwise there's no point in creating the outlet and the action. So let's just write some code here. Self dot label 1. Let's make the label disappear. Okay, so alpha is equal to, let's just make it so that it's faded, not completely disappear. Okay, so we can still see it. So let's make the alpha 0.3. And then here, self dot label 1 dot alpha is equal to 1.0. Okay, let's make it appear again. Okay, I think that should work. So let's just run it. Okay, button 1. See how this label now is faded, and then we click on this button or tap on this button, the second button, and it's no longer faded. All right, so that's how you create actions and outlets for your objects.